You will not be able to stay home, brother. You will not be able to plug in, turn on, and cop out. You will not be able to lose yourself on Skag and skip out for beer during commercials because the revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by Xerox in 4 parts without commercial interruptions. The revolution will not show you pictures of Nixon blowing a bugle and leading a charge by John Mitchell, General Abrams, and Spyro Agnew to eat hog maws confiscated from a Harlem sanctuary. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be brought to you by the Schaefer Award Theater and will not star Natalie Woods and Steve McQueen or Bullwinkle and Julia. The revolution will not give your mouth sex appeal. The revolution will not get rid of the nubs. The revolution will not make you look 5 pounds thinner because the revolution will not be televised, brother. There will be no pictures of you and Willie Mae pushing that shopping cart down the block on the dead run or trying to slide that color TV into a stolen ambulance. NBC will not be able to predict the winner at 8:32 on report from 29 districts. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of pigs shooting down brothers on the instant replay. There will be no pictures of Whitney Young being run out of Harlem on a rail with a brand new process. There will be no slow motion or still lights of Roy Wilkins strolling through Watts in a red, black, and green liberation jumpsuit that he has been saving for just the proper occasion. Green Acres, Beverly Hillbillies, and Hooterville Junction will no longer be so damn relevant, and women will not care if Dick finally got down with Jane on Search for Tomorrow, because black people will be in the street looking for a brighter day. The revolution will not be televised. There will be no highlights on the 11 o'clock news and no pictures of Harry armed women liberationists and Jackie Onassis blowing her nose. The theme song will not be written by Jim Webb or Francis Scott Keys, nor sung by Glenn Campbell, Tom Jones, Johnny Cash, Engelbert Humperdinck, or The Rare Earth. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be right back after a message about a white tornado, white lightning, or white people. You will not have to worry about a dove in your bedroom, the tiger in your tank, or the giant in your toilet bowl. The revolution will not go better with Coke. The revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution will put you in the driver's seat. The revolution will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised, will not be televised. The revolution will be no rerun, brothers. The revolution will be live.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Shabaka Shankor coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada tonight. And welcome to our special edition. The air date of this episode is Monday, August 25th, 2025. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, today, Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States, signed some executive orders into law today. One is he canceled cashless bail. The National Guard he is sending to Chicago, Los Angeles, and Oakland. The National Guard that he has had in Washington, D.C. are now armed. Based on information of what I saw, is that they are armed with sidearms, but however, I do not think he's going to rule out them having, rifles. He had signed special orders. Okay, he ordered a specialized National Guard to get rid of crime in major cities. National Guard members are saying they love policing Washington, D.C. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm of the opinion of what you're about to have here is a police state that is going to come quite rapidly. Okay, and what you could do is that you could join us or you could follow it, on YouTube. And then you should put in a request to come on board. Our chat room is open, okay? So come on in and we will be happy to have you. Okay. And we got the links out. Okay. We're going to take a few minutes here, to send out some more links. As the StreamYard, is kind of way different, to what I'm used to doing. So therefore, these are going to be some very, very interesting times. Okay. And this is open mic. Okay. And please join us. Okay. And it's real bad. You know what I'm saying? It really is. And now, with him signing this law, okay, about against burning the U.S. flag, some, from what I understand, is that you had this right to do this. It was supposed to be a freedom of speech or what have you, okay? And then also, too, it's bad. The only thing I can say is bad. And then also, too, there's another video that I saw up here where an African man reveals his Latino workers tried to disrespect him for hiring African Americans on his staff. A businessman hiring his own people, and Latino workers, tried to get him to overturn that. So what is happening? And also, too, is bad news for drunks. Your Ripple shit, your Short Dogs, your Boone's Farm, and all that. Okay, the wine country of Napa Valley is burning. Maybe Trump might put tariffs on your Short Dogs, so be leery of that. And the sad part about this here, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's up to us, to take care of us. And then on my wall, a couple of days ago, I came up with, guess what? New exercise. Here it is. Wake up, drink your coffee, or continue getting drunk from the night before. Then go to your social media and block all unwanted ads and bullshit videos. I bet if this is done by everyone, the garbage and bullshit fake videos will come to a screeching halt in about 2 weeks. Please share far and wide. Be sure to share this. This is called the Bye-Bye Bullshit Challenge. Remember, you pay for your devices, your laptops, you have a monthly service plan. Why would you, in the entire fuck, would make a son of a bitch rich who ain't paying you shit? Please help, for I'm stupid. And by the way, this video is for those 18 years of age and over. And let's get our disclaimer right there. Okay, so we got someone in here. Brother Walt, brother DeWalt, how you be?
Black power, brother. I've been doing good.
Always, man. Yes, sir. And this here, is a special edition, man, is because in your neck of the woods, man, I'm commenting on, man, the crap that I saw today coming up out the White House. And if this dude, man, ain't Hitler in the present day scenario here of 2025, then we ain't alive. You see what I mean? It's because this dude, man, is canceled cashless bail. He's sending the National Guard to Chicago, Los Angeles, and I hate to piss you off, brother, to Panther Town. Okay, yeah, you had to unmute your mic. Okay, Brother Walt, brother. Okay. All right. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised, man, if they ain't throwing a monkey wrench in this. You know what I'm saying? So go out and come back in, man.
Can you hear me now, brother?
And that's it. Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely. I got you loud and clear.
Yes,
And I'm glad I got,
most
yes,
definitely.
go ahead.
Most definitely. When I was looking at some of the governments around the world, they would never put their military in the streets of their own citizens because that doesn't symbolize you being strong. That symbolizes as you being a weak individual who's drunk off of power. And when you put,
Exactly.
yes, when you put your military in the streets of your own citizens that you vow to protect, that doesn't symbolize strength, that symbolizes weaknesses. And that's something that we
Absolutely.
must look at from a standpoint of what type of administration do we have. People around the world are clowning the United States of America. They know
Oh,
that
absolutely.
this leadership is nothing compared to Burkina Faso, one of those leaders, leaders like the EFF and all that. You got to look at it from a standpoint of what real leadership looks like. Real leadership
Absolutely.
comes and talks to the citizens with 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 an empathetic view. They don't come in trying to muster some type of strength over their own citizens. That just looks like you're drunk off of power, and that needs
Oh,
to be
absolutely.
corrected. And we're gonna get
Absolutely. The tyranny.
one most definitely. And
Absolutely. That's tyranny. And then the
tyranny,
cold part of, yes, sir.
the tyranny that is going on in American streets is like a rotten and a decadence that's gonna be torn from the inside out because the citizens of the United States of America are not going for this type of bull crap. And it's a new day.
Exactly.
It's a new day, and Black unity has evolved. And you can't take the love of Black people because it was prophesied for us to love one another. And I say that with authority,
Indeed.
and I say that in the spirit of God because the day is a new day. Black power.
Absolutely. Always. And then keep in mind, okay, the cities that he is going to hit, okay, is Chicago, Los Angeles, and then this one, Oakland. He's going into Oakland, California. And we all know what the significance is of Oakland is with that. It's because, there was young men who came together that read the U.S. Constitution and stated that they believed in the U.S. Constitution and they believed in the Second Amendment. Okay. Now, so what started there. So look at the attack on that. Then not to mention the fact he's going into Chicago. Then he says he's going to revisit Los Angeles. The governor of California is talking about, he's going to take Trump to court and all that grandstanding and all that crap. And that dude there has a whole lot of moral issues that need to be dealt with. You say,
Right.
now, here's something you're really going to love. He had signed into law through executive order. If you burn the American flag, man, I think you're doing 1 to 10 years. And they used to allow the burning of the flag as a form of the right of free speech. Now, let me ask you a question. Shouldn't we feel the same way about the RBG flag? You see what I mean? Okay. Shouldn't we feel the same way about that? And then, on top of that, okay, he's going to give these police officers more of a leadway with qualified immunity in the cities that he is talking about. You see? And the thing is, man, is that as you stated, as we all stated, and we stand on that square, we got to, love ourselves, and it's up to us, to bring up our youth, not the state. It's up to us as men folk to teach, teenage boys from 12 on up, man, to learn skills, to learn trades, some good ones, man, that will make them some money. because I saw a brother, man, about 6 months ago, man. You know, he was a young brother himself, about 21, 22. So he had like the 12, 13, and 14-year-olds, man, showing them how to change brakes on the car, showing them, you know, how to put oil in the car, how to change the fan belt. You see what I mean? So he's giving them, you know, some type of skill right there, so they don't have to go out here and do a bunch of crooked nonsense, you see, to get set up to take falls, man, for the rest of their lives. Okay. Teach our young boys in the school some vocations. You see, now it's great to go to college, man. It's beautiful. But while you're going to college, it's going to be expensive. But at least, man, you got something to fall back on, man. Learn how to drive a forklift like how I used to do. You see what I'm saying? Learn how to wash windows. You know what I'm saying? Like I used to do. Learn light painting skills, is because as you're starting off light, eventually what's going to happen is, man, you're going to come across a journeyman, man, to teach you to take it to the next phase. Okay.
Exactly.
Then bring them into that business right there. You see, it's time for us black man and woman to become self-sufficient, is because the handwriting is already on the wall, man. And I will sit up here and I will debate with any of these ass-scratching, coon-ass Negroes, man, that's sitting up here saying, oh, well, Trump is doing a good thing. He's getting crime out of D.C. Trump is sitting up there telling his staff, yeah, don't you feel much safer now? You know what I'm saying? Since we're locking up all these thugs and what have you.
Mm-hmm. I could piggyback off of that. I just heard everything you saying. But what is, when you go to these colleges, and the majority of these colleges are ran by Europeans, and when you get a degree, your whole purpose is to serve the European himself. So you're only getting a degree and not knowing that you're going to get a job. So you go out there and get this degree to go work for the European. He's the owner of the corporations, and you may not even get a job. But
exactly
4.4 billion black people in the world, you have 4.4 billion black ways to connect and get something that's constructive that can help us as a nation build upon what we need to build upon.
Yes, sir. That
we
part
don't
right
need to
there
be
is
looking toward.
Okay, brother, you fell off. Your mic fell off.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
We don't need to look toward the European for our deliverance, toward doing what's right for ourselves. What we need to do is continue on doing exactly what you just said, brother. Go and get you a trade, because trades pays the bills.
Exactly.
And that's what we need to do. Get somewhere where we can pay the bills, be builders like our ancestors were, and do the work and build up our own nation. Because that's what it's coming. That's what it's coming to.
That part. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of it as well, too, you say, you got others who say, these other groups, oh, well, that's hate, man. You're not being all inclusive with diversity, equity, inclusion. Say, man, look about how diverse of how they taking these tactics to keep us unequal, no equity, and to keep us excluded. Now, when Trump says, get rid of DEI, that was the best thing that he could ever do, is because, as you just stated right here, with these trades and these vocations that we are going to teach our young men, you see what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about nobody else. Hey, man, he got rid of diversity, equity, inclusion, man. So guess what? We're being inclusive with ourselves right here, like what these other groups are doing. And then he says he's going to send them back into LA, and LA does have a large Latino population. Okay, I grew up there. They saying we don't deserve reparations. They saying that we should be going out there helping them with their cause. You see what I mean? So we being hated upon is because, see, we sitting this one out. You gotta say, we got to sit up here and we got to take assessments, man, of our current situation, man, in American social order here in August of 2025. You see what I mean? Okay. It's because we are all we got. You see?
All we got.
And I will sit up here and debate with anybody else from another group, nationality, or what have you. Now, here's something, man, that I find very, very interesting. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of black people in America saying boycott African businesses, mainly the hair braiding shops. You see what I mean? Okay. Then I see an African man, a business owner, he's saying he has fired all the Latinos and OTBs, and what he wants to do is put Afro Americans to work. Sound like he's trying to build a bridge right there, brother.
Right. I
Yeah,
agree.
you see, I mean, the dude, he went on Instagram and Facebook, man. I forgot to get the brother's name, you know what I'm saying? Because, I had wanted to send him a link. You see what I mean? And then on top of it, okay, is that this is building our economical base. You see, man, because I'm tired of seeing our young 14, 15, 16-year-old young man getting hit with the big one, man, getting ready to do life in prison. Yeah, say, so he goes into YA, man, or juvenile hall, and then as soon as he hits that 1-8, man, it's straight to the state penitentiary, if not, straight to the county jail, then state penitentiary.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right. Well, we need to combat that school to prison pipeline thing. That's all it is. Everything's socially engineered for our children to leave the school system and go right into the prison system because they have designed this through by a social engineering to keep our children in the classroom of ignorance on the street that they have given us this type of foolishness and the decadence that they done did to our people in the streets from 400 years of some of the most heinous crimes that you could even imagine. If you can just go back and look at all the things that they have done to us, and if you understand, enlighten your mind to the horrible and horrific things that they have done to us, you have to understand what we need to do in order for our people to get in line with each other. And the number one knowledge there is that's love. We have to love our people and show empathy and do what's right for us. That's the only way we're ever gonna get on top.
Absolutely.
Because the self-hatred is prevalent in our communities from the years of miseducation. And this is one of the most serious things that I preach or I talk about amongst the youth and allow them to understand. I can't tell you, but I'll show you in my action that I sincerely love you as a black person. And I show that in my action. I don't talk about it. I just show it in my action because action speaks louder than words.
That is a fact, you see. And then on top of that, what's going to happen is, man, it's gonna take say within about 5 years. Okay, if we implement serious programs dealing with ourselves as we just discussed, right? Within 5 years, man, we could set a trend, man, a counter, man, this negative trend that we're going on. You know what I mean? I'm talking about you seeing our young men up here. Oh man, I want to go to prison. Fool, you 18 years old. In the prime of your life.
It's some type of fad now. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the music, that glorifies this. Right. Okay. So therefore, what's going to happen is, man, you're going to learn a whole lot, man. And then as soon as they slam that cell behind your door, leaving you in that cell, man, with them big buff cats, man, you know what I'm saying? You're going to regret it instantly.
Instantaneously. And I can tell you from front line what was coming from a youth coming from poverty, going into a system, even though I had some older brothers to help rear me up into the person that I am today. I am totally thankful for the Nation of Islam, the brothers who taught me to be myself, who I am today, because now it sparked my mind for me to be a better man and show the youth this is the righteous way to go about doing what's righteous for us. And that's
absolutely
the key.
Absolutely.
You do have brothers in there that will see some type of spark in you, and if you shine it, they will pull you up, and they'll say, hey, look here, brother, you seem like you a well-spoken young man. I want to know if you want to come to the Nation of Islam meetings tonight. And ever since I went to those meetings, it has
Right.
changed the dynamics of how I perceive and my perception about black people. Because
Absolutely.
when I once was a hater and miseducated, uh, subconsciously, I thought that I loved black people, but unconsciously, I knew that somehow it was something wrong with my way of thinking, because
Okay.
there's no way that you can treat your people in any type of matter or to make them feel unloved and unwanted, because that's just not the way a culture was supposed to be designed to be. Culturally, we have been affected by the social illnesses that have plagued our communities through by a white presence that has a disdain for black people's love for one another, and most definitely they want to keep us from loving one another so they can control us through by their social system that has destroyed our people psychologically, mentally,
Yep.
and most
Yep.
definitely physics I mean spiritually. This
Oh,
is
most
We
definitely.
are
Most
in a
definitely.
spiritual warfare today,
A-
because
absolutely.
I will say this, and I want to put this on the record. I'm going to say I
Yeah.
said this on my brother Shabaka's show tonight. I want to put this on record. Revelations is in effect.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
didn't think that the love of black people would come together the way that it has came together. What they
Absolutely.
have done, they have seriously miscalculated some of the things that they thought that would call our culture into being hating toward one another. That is not the
That
key.
part.
You miscalculated. And when you hear this, you're hearing the spirit of God from the brothers and sisters who have came together under one umbrella and love each other for one common cause. And that cause is to liberate the minds, hearts, and the physical, spiritual, and the whole mechanism of what black culture was meant to be. And that's self
Absolutely.
love, brother. It's a new day for black
Absolutely.
people. And I speak this on the regular. It's a new day. And that new day
Hmm.
is going to cultivate us into the giants that we are, the gods and goddesses on this earth. And when you hear the spirit of black people chanting now, you will hear a spirit that they thought would never come to pass. Well, it's coming to pass.
Absolutely.
And they better get ready, because that new day is here in the now. And we love black people,
Absolutely.
and we'll show it in our
Absolutely.
action by any means necessary. Because hey,
Absolutely.
Malcolm X is reigning, or just showing up in the spirit. Malcolm X, you got Martin Luther King, some of our
Yep.
giants. They are here.
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, and we can go on and go on. Marcus Garvey. It's
Oh, yeah.
just
Sister
so
Harriet
many.
Tubman. You know
Harriet
what I'm
Tubman,
saying?
just so
Yeah.
many
Nat
sisters.
Turner.
Nat Turner, most definitely one of my most favorite ancestors. And I'm just telling
Absolutely.
you that God is in the midst today, and I speak that clearly, and they can hear me just as clear as the bell when it dings. I tell you this:
Absolutely.
when
Absolutely.
it's all
And,
over and said,
yes,
they
sir.
will respect black love.
Oh, absolutely. And you just brought back a memory to me, brother. I remember Ali, man, in his second reign as the heavyweight champion, okay, when he
Mm,
had beat Big George, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. They had asked him on a TV talk show. They said, well, Muhammad, what advice do you got for a young man that wants to be a boxer? He says, my advice is this, okay, forget it. And they like, huh, what? Forget it. He says, there's only one of me, man. You get hit in the head, man, it could ruin you for the rest of your life. Go to school, be a doctor, be a lawyer, be a businessman, be a plumber, be a carpenter. You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
because he says, there's only one of me. You see what I'm saying? And he was right about that. And that, brother, was one of the reasons why he was hated by mainstream white America. When he got
Mm-hmm.
up there and talked all that stuff, man, you know what I'm saying? The white America did not pay to see him win. They paid to see him lose. Okay. That's how he made his money.
That's
And I
typical.
remember, yeah, and I remember that when he would gain the crown, he says, I'm going to have some fights on regular TV because a lot of people cannot afford the pay-per-view. So therefore, man, when he would fight, like say, they would have to fight in the top 10, when he would fight like the number 3 or the number 4 contender, he would put it on regular television. He will insist that they do, right?
Right.
Then, of course, when he was fighting his number 1 contenders, he had to go to pay-per-view because that's how he made his money. And keep in mind, Muhammad Ali got a whole lot of black boxers paid by fighting. You see what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah.
and I remember seeing a clip of him from his first reign, and I was only a child during his first reign. And he was talking to a news reporter, and I think he was about to fight this cat man by the name of Zora Foley. And he said that I had a fight scheduled with such and such, you know what I mean? They was dragging their feet on it, you see. So he says, I went on here and offered it to this guys because they train hard, they sweating hard, they put in sweat equity. So the ultimate thing is for him to get paid is for the fight for the heavyweight title, which he went on and let him fight. Then, of course, with him being the greatest, he shut him down, but still that man got paid. You see, this is the thing about recycling the black dollars. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the movies. I love music and all that. But that is not an essential service. You see what I mean? It's because we go into every other group for our essential needs and our essential services. You see what I'm saying? And there was a miniseries, man, that they did from South Africa called Shaka Zulu, man, in the 1980s, right? Okay, they showed it here in the United States, but I came across a clip that they took up out of it that they did not show in the United States. And that clip was Shaka sitting with the white who's coming up there with lies and deceit to get his resources, right? And he's sitting with the dude, he's looking at the sky and he says, down, up, down. You see what I'm saying? So he's talking about the stars and to the earth, you see. And he asked the white fella, he says, man, now that you and I are by ourselves, I have to ask you, what is your real reason for being here? So the white fella coming up with his double speak, oh, well, we're here to provide for your needs. And he said, provide for our needs. What do you mean to provide for our needs? And he says, is your intent that when you come here, is it to have English, Zulu, English, Zulu, English, Zulu, or just English, 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 and no Zulu? Of course, that's what the white fella's mission was already. But I appreciate his insight because this is the first time he's seeing these people. You see what I'm saying? So I appreciate the brother's insight, man, of asking that question. You see what I mean? And then people, man, as you have witnessed, have called me all kind of dogs, that I'm full of nonsense. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I had to tell the generation after me, look, youngin', I already been your age. Your test is, can you make it to mine? I want you to see it to mine. On one other podcast, they called me a bunch of old MFs, this, that, that, the other, right? So I says, hey, you know what? I've already been your age. Can you make it to mine? And I said, and if you live long enough, you will get old also, just off the law of biophysics. Is because, for yourself, when you was 10, man, you wanted to hurry up and grow up, right?
Yes, sir.
When you hit 18, okay, I'm adulthood now, okay. Then you're 21. Then you're 28. And for some odd reason, between 18 and 28 went a little bit fast for you of what you're accustomed to. Then you're going up there to 28 and 35. And that went faster than it was for you to get to 18, if you feel what I'm saying. You see? Now, what am I going to do? I got to sustain myself. We can't be going out here, man, making these other people rich, man, and then they, living like kings, man, and we living like peasants. And then when you mention it, oh, man, that's being racist, No, that ain't being racist. What you saw what Donald Trump did today in that White House Oval Office, gloating and gleaming and shining about these new executive orders that he signed. You see what I'm saying? He's got about 12 of his cronies around him, man, and they kissing his ass, and they putting each of these executive orders in front of him, and they explaining to him what they are. Wait a minute, man. You are head of state. You're supposed to already know what they are. You see what I mean? So it's kind of like that his sycophants, his cronies, his ass kissers are putting up here, man, what they want, you say, which is, for all practical purposes, once again, racist white supremacy. And then look how we curtailing these colored neighborhoods up here. And then he's saying, oh, well, it's the black community that wanted that, so we're doing it. But he has an alternative and agenda full of malfeasance. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Mm-hmm.
You feel me?
Yes,
evil intent. Okay. So the game is, well, we're going to have to get the black community taxes. And I'm seeing some of these people here on social media. Yeah, man, he needs to bring them to Chicago, all the gangs and stuff like that. But black man and woman, when you are saying this, you are also bringing danger to your own front door. Okay. Because he's not so much looking out for the black criminal. He's looking out to get black people that he could charge as being a criminal. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying that, that the crime rate in the black community ain't high. You see what I mean? Right. But what alternatives do our youth have? Is because nobody is mentoring to them. Man, hey, man, I can go out here and work these cars, man, and make more money, man, than I'm doing this illegal stuff. Right. And then the beauty of it is I don't have to worry about going to jail. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? Okay. Yep. That part right there. Then what would happen is, man, gradually, in my opinion, then the black family unit will start coming back together. You see? Right. And then I'm looking at these obnoxious and dumbass posts up here on social media where these women are saying, oh, well, you got to give me $1,000 just to take a picture with me. I got all these bills to pay and stuff like that. And I'm not going to work and you pay all the bills. No, lady, no.
Sound crazy.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is you're going to come across some right-minded brother going to say, woman, you crazy.
I heard that.
To understand is that the institution of the Jim Crowism, of segregation, of slavery has split the black family unit. It's done more than split, brother. It downright pulverized it.
Sure did.
You see what I'm saying? And then pulverizing it like that, now it's powdered dust. Now we're going for anything. Now, another issue that I want to address that I'm hearing that I found so incredible is these people coming on social media talking about boycott these African businesses. African businesses. But yet, though, you up here don't have the same attitude when it comes to boycotting the Chinese business or coming up here boycotting the white man's business or coming up there boycotting the Irish business, but you're going to go up here with your own people. Now, for those here that I'm seeing with this FBA agenda, man, I am hearing some of the most venomous and hateful talk, man, against African people. You know what I mean? And the irony of it is, well, isn't this how venomous and how hateful that white folk was talking to us and about us during the 1960s, the civil rights era, and things of that nature, where you had black grocery stores, you had black commerce sections like the Black Wall Street there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, like you had down there in Rosewood, Florida, or like you had there in Los Angeles, California. Oh, nah, I
North
can go
Carolina,
sit here. Yeah, yeah, Atlanta. Oh, nah, I can go
Georgia.
sit at International House of Pancakes. I can go to the
Mm-hmm.
Waffle House. Oh, I can go down here and sit at the lunch counter at FW Woolworth. So now, what you doing that? You taking away all the economical juice for the black businesses that were forced to work together, that were actually quite prosperous, and the gross national product in the black community at that time, man, was high, very high. And as we all know, the gross national product is the total amount spent in a particular community, country, nation, neighborhood, what have you, on goods and services. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's got the economical growth. You see what I mean? And then the key is that you building up generational wealth to have for the next generation. You see what I mean? Then
Right.
you accumulate that there. You know, like you got a lot of these financial scholars in the black community talking about the key is building generational wealth, which it is. So therefore, with old Trump getting rid of DEI, and then Target is going bankrupt, man, because black people quit shopping there, man. Now that is some true black power. Okay. Now, we need our educated ones with business degrees and entrepreneurs. Okay, well, hey, let us produce some entities, for our essential services, such as food, clothes, tools, houses for ourselves, apartment buildings. You see what I'm saying? Basically, you would. So basically, what your main three elements is clothing, shelter, and food. You see what I mean?
Right.
Then start developing co-ops. And as you had mentioned about the Nation of Islam, they had emphasized that as long as I know, man, in their publications and in their speeches. And another thing that we got to check out is what they are doing to the food chain in the black community. You see what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, of what they putting in there. And then there's a sister out of Detroit, she's a doctor, and she's talking about the essentialities of nutrition, basic nutrition, not this GMO, man, not this pharmaceutical crap, man, to put in our bodies to keep us sick. You see, to keep going back to the doctor, to keep getting stuff from Pfizer, where the chairman got up before the U.S. Congress and stated our concern or is not to the health of the community, but our main priority is to our stockholders. And as we all know, a share of stock is a piece of ownership inside of a corporation, which is a legal entity, such as yourself. And then they got the various levels of stock where at the top of the chain of this corporation where they're getting a lion's share of it. You see what I mean? And
Right.
then the cool part about it is, when we look at the sports industry, all of us loves the human drama of athletic competition, baseball, basketball, football, boxing and what have you. Then we should be controlling these leagues and regulating these leagues, to put our young men to work, that train hard and what have you, and want to go out there and want to shine and love the sport. Not us having our players up there like on auction slave blocks or slave auction blocks, you see, going to the highest bidder. So it'd be us taking care of ourselves. And then as they accelerate, get some tenure in there, then give them a part of the ownership of the team. You see what I mean? Because you remember the owner of the Washington Commanders who said that, well, if these black folks don't dig the way we're running things, then have them go on there and form their own leagues. And guess
Right.
what? He got a point. You see what I'm saying?
Oh
And
yes.
with the talent level that we have, I believe within 5 seasons, man, we could pull the whole general market. You see what I'm saying?
NBA, NFL,
Maybe
Major League Baseball. We can do this
all that.
because we are the resource behind all those national brands,
Absolutely.
and
And
they're
keep
using our
and
human resources on, and we're bigging up their brands when what we need, we must do, not what we should do, what we must do in order for us to get out
absolutely.
of economic slavery dealing with our oppressors. And
Absolutely.
but
Absolutely.
brother Shabaka, I got a call coming in. I need to take this call. I'm gonna leave us with a quote from one of our brothers, Marcus Messiah Garvey. He said,
Absolutely.
a nation that depends on someone else for their well-being was a nation
Yeah,
that is subjected to die if they don't come together for each other.
absolutely.
Black
Okay,
power.
brother. I appreciate you always. And I appreciate you chiming in with me, man, on this special episode, man. So I'm going to call it a night just because it's you and I only in the chat room, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do, man, if you could download this here, man, on your social media, man, play it again and again and again.
Yes, indeed. Black power. I say that with
Absolutely.
love for our culture, and I want to spread that love all around the world because love is the highest degree of knowledge, and it takes that love for us to come together collectively. It's Black power.
That part. Okay, Black Power, brother. And thank you so
Yeah.
very, very much, man, for joining me this evening. All right,
Yes,
man,
sir.
and take care. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Okay,
Likewise, brother. See you soon.
absolutely. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this here concludes our StreamYard on this special edition tonight of August 25th, 2025. Okay, and as we know is that Donald Duck, had signed some new executive orders, and we were just bringing knowledge there to let them know what our people is going on. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, please share this video far and wide. And we are doing this here under fair use, yes, and then also too in regard to the Copyright Act of 1976 and our copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Thank you so very, very much. Then have a nice night.
The National Guard will be out on the streets of D.C. this morning. They're joining residents and police in an attempt to cut down on crime. Ron Talley is live at police headquarters with the latest. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, Daria. If anyone thought that this latest crackdown on crime by Chief Larry Soulsby was short-lived, they can think again. It continues en masse. 15 more arrests yesterday in one raid alone. 2 weeks ago, Chief Soulsby promised to move his desk officers onto the streets, and now he's struck a deal to get neighborhood street patrols help from the National Guard. If nothing else, the sight of military-type vehicles set up for night patrols in D.C.'s residential neighborhoods gives the appearance the district is serious about its latest assault on crime. Members of the D.C. Air and National Guard are now helping police and neighbors patrol some of the district's more drug and crime-infested streets. The goal here is to interrupt drug sales that have plagued this neighborhood. Drug sales that have in the past led to violence and murder.
We're assisting the Metropolitan Police Department in neighborhood watch, crime prevention in the D.C. metropolitan area.
The other plan of attack to take back the streets includes full-scale raids on the drug dealers, like this one on an open-air drug market in Columbia Heights that netted some 15 arrests. With 80 to 90 officers taking part on this raid alone,